Hi guys, check out my book, Dear Bully, It's Me from the Grave by Cordelia Roman. It's on Amazon. Check it out, guys. It is definitely one topic that I am an advocate for. I cannot stand bullying. I cannot stand to witness it. I have experienced it before. I've had to face bullies myself, even as a young child. Not very often, but I did. And especially as an adult, I went through a lot of different things in the workplace, and I was able to face that as well. But I just want y'all to know that this book is out there, and I hope that you enjoy it. It is a short story, but it has a powerful, powerful message behind it. So please check it out, and thanks a lot. Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to Big Sister. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I appreciate all of you who are subscribers to my channel. Those of you that's new here, just go ahead and check out what I have. Check out my content, guys, my playlist. I just have a couple, and you'll get an idea of what this channel is all about. Big Sister, some of you may be older than me. So it's just a place where we're talking, where I give everyday feedback, advice, and just encouragement to people of all ages. This is for everybody of all ages, and I'm also open for feedback as well. This also because there are people who do not have brothers or sisters or anyone that they can talk to, or they can give their ideas to, or they can get some kind of counsel on how to deal with things. I'm not a professional counselor, guys. Anything that's really deep, I would say check out, get support system in your community with a professional. But these are just as if you're just chatting up with a friend who's just giving you something to consider, but it is not the rule or something you must follow. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's experience is different. And I do know a lot of times when people are giving me their feedback on everything, you're giving me just a small excerpt, a bit of context out of something that's a lot bigger. So therefore, you have to understand that my feedback is going to be based on what you've given to me. And ultimately, you're going to know where it applies to you, where it does not. And I just have to put that disclaimer out there so no one can say, oh, well, she told me to do this and she told me to do that. I am not the final say so. You are, because you're the one that's living and having that experience, if that makes sense. Today, I want to talk about workplace bullying. This topic was brought to my attention, or someone actually mentioned talking about this, about workplace bullying, and I've finally been able to get around to it. And workplace bullying can come in many, many forms. It can be direct, it can be indirect. Direct is just when you have a person, or there's normally this one main person. It could be an employer, it could be a CEO, it could be a manager, regional, at whatever level. It could be your floor supervisor, it could be another coworker, but that person normally has some kind of influence where they have their minions and other people who's going to follow them. These are people who normally want to make sure that they're in good standing with that bully, so they will side with them in picking on someone else that they target. There's really no good reason for the bullying other than they sniff you out, and whatever it is that they find and realize is a weakness, or they think it does not pair or fit well with what they are trying to do or how they behave socially, then they're going to pick on you. You just may be someone that come in and you do your job and they don't like that. So you have those bullies that they're going to speak outrightly towards you. Then you have those who are covert. They do things in a way that is hard for others to detect and see what's going on. So a lot of times you end up looking as if you're crazy, because they do things in such a way that people are like, well, what's the problem? I don't see anything that's wrong. What's going on? And a lot of times it's normally like the supervisor, someone in a high position. It could also be a coworker that does this, but a lot of times you're going to see this with someone who is in a position of power who picks on this person, but they do it in this way that's very covert. And we're going to talk about that. And then you have those who just play the psychological games, which is also a part of the covert or the passive aggressive way of bullying someone. But bullying is just basically where someone is picked on and they're made to feel as if they're an outsider. And these individuals will, on a daily basis, do things to cause that person to feel as if they don't belong. Sometimes bullying can start immediately upon you starting a job, and other times everything was great, but something happens, and then you find yourself to be on the outside. It's in my opinion that people who bully others are normally broken people. Bullies were are most likely individuals who were bullied, or they're people who have been spoiled rotten. They're used to getting their own way all the time, and they were raised in a way that if they didn't get their way, they can have a meltdown. They will go break their brothers or sisters' toys. They'll stomp their cloven hooves, and mommy and daddy will give them what they want, or their parent, or whatever their family settings were. And they could be the teacher's pet, or they were just that bully in school that just tormented people. A bully is not always someone who comes from a bad family, or someone who's being bullied at home. Sometimes the bullies come from homes where their parents are really nice. Their parents are upstanding citizens. They don't even raise their child to be that way. They don't even know that. But that person somehow, somewhere along the line in their upbringing, whether they were neglected, whether they were rejected, um, or they were always given a lot. Sometimes that can happen when you overindulge your child so much and they don't have the balance and disciplines to appreciate or to work for anything. They just go through their lives bullying other people because they always got away with things throughout their childhood. So they take that into the workplace. You think that when you graduate from middle school and high school, that bullying will be over with. And then you just are so disappointed when you go to work and it's happening there. Why? Because those bullies from elementary school, middle school, and high school, they grew up too, and now they're working in your space. So, how do you deal with that bully? Well, first of all, it is a very, could be scary, lonely, and there are people who have taken their own lives behind bullying in the workplace because they felt that they had no one to turn to. You may go to HR, human resources, to try to get help, but you will find that a lot of time human resources is on the side of the employer. They're going to be on the side of, not necessarily the side of the supervisor, but the company. So they're going to look at you and say, well, you're the problem, and try to get rid of you than trying to get rid of that supervisor, because it may be harder to fill that slot, or that supervisor has a good rapport, good work history. It's very difficult when you have someone who is actually an asset to the company, who works well, or they may be a complete slacker, but they are just that person that everybody likes. They get along with the supervisors, they hang out with them, you know, and yeah, they, so because they're cool and they hang out with the supervisor and they're a quote unquote people person, they are getting away with everything. So as a result, you're going to see that they're able to just, it's almost as if they're untouchable because they're in a specific circle. And over time, what they're going to do is they target people. again, the attacks can be for different things. You have to understand that bullying does not always have there's never a good reason for bullying. They just need that person or that group of individuals needs someone to pick on, and there's someone in the group who is the leader who focuses on the individual or individuals, and their minions would follow. So it could be your looks. It doesn't necessarily mean something's wrong with you. Even though you can be bullied, people bully others because of they may have some deformities, disabilities. But you can also be bullied because you're beautiful, that you're a good looking man, a good looking woman. You can be bullied for having wealth, believe it or not. Because bullying stems from something else. There's a deep-seated issue that those individuals are dealing with. Why you can't ever just pinpoint exactly what they're going to bully you for. There doesn't need to be a reason. The person or these individuals are vacuous beings. They're they have no regard for people. Their moral compass has been totally annihilated a long time ago. So they just seek to hurt you. You can also be bullied because you hold a certain standard, the way you carry yourself, the things that you believe. You can be bullied for your political beliefs, religious, just your ethical and morals, because you don't like to go out to happy hour to drink after work, because you're not doing the same things that everybody else is doing after school, because you're not drinking and smoking in the bathroom, because you're still a virgin, because you don't dress like the other girls, because you're not talking like the other boys, because of the different clubs that you're in at school. Maybe you're in a student council club versus being on a football team. You can get bullied for so many different things. And sometimes there's just no reason. This person just needs a person to target. And so it happens. But the thing about bullying that you have to learn is bullies are normally the minorities, but they come in with so much chaos, and they create so much turmoil in an environment that they seem to be a lot bigger than they really are. They just got a big mouth, or they're just passive aggressive. We talked about that, the supervisors or these individuals that will do little things to upset you, because ultimately supervisors that behave this way, they want you to quit, or they want you to react and respond to them in a way that jeopardizes your job, maybe even your freedom. I don't know, you ever seen on social media or YouTube, you look and you see these Karen videos, and you see these women antagonizing people, getting their faces, and then as soon as a person slaps them or pushes them down, you see them, oh, that's it, I'm calling the police, you assaulted me. They live for that. So it's something very similar. They're there to antagonize you. And this can be mentally tasking. Actually, the word is taxing. Because the first thing that you're naturally going to do is try to figure out, well, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. With a bully, you don't need to do anything wrong. The bully is the wrong. And what they try to do is to put that off on you. They want you to either, if you have a political view, if you have a religious, a way that you were raised, culturally, just certain norms. They want to shame you for thinking these ways, and they want you to conform and to change. Other times, if a supervisor is bullying you and doing these passive aggressive things to you, they want you to feel isolated. They want to exert their power, but they can't do it in an outward manner. Otherwise, they can get in trouble. They can be written up. They can get fired. There'll be evidence that they're actually the aggressor. And a lot of times they do that because they want you to quit. A lot of times they want you to break down because they've done it before. And a lot of times they just enjoy punishing you. So you're like, what is the problem? What's going on with me? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with you. When it comes to bullying, bullies are people who are miserable. They were probably bullied in their lives. They probably get bullied at home. So they go to work or go to school and they antagonize other people. It's called displacement. It's like if someone has a bad day at work and they come home and they take everything out on their family. They come home, they complain that the food doesn't taste good, their children are too loud, they kick the cat, they yell at the dog. That's what displacement is. So when they are powerless at home, or if they're being neglected at home, their marriage is not going well, their husband or wives are cheating on them, or they have a mother-in-law who runs their house, or they are around family members where they are considered to be the quote unquote black sheep, they leave the home with all their frustrations because they can't speak up. They can't speak truth to power. For some reason, I don't like that term, but truth to power. But they can't speak. They won't speak to their bullies at home. The wife or husband that's bullying them, the sibling, the parents, or whatever the power dynamics may be, where they are powerless and they can't speak. It could be their whole family is against them. It could be the husband and the children are against them, the wife and the children are against them. So they keep all this frustration on the inside and they take it out on someone else. But rest assured, bullies are very, very careful in who they pick on, because most bullies are cowards. Now you have some that, yes, they are fighters. Yes, they are rowdy and they will fight you and harm you and hurt you, but most of them won't. Most of them are just loudmouths. So what they're going to do is they're looking specifically for people who over time they figure out who you are. You're quiet. So what they'll do is they'll try little things. Sometimes you may even have been friends with the bully at first. So they become your friend, but they're becoming your friend because they need to evaluate you and see what kind of person you are. And over time, they'll do little things. They'll start off testing you by, maybe they'll take something from you. Maybe they'll snatch something away from you, or they'll say something. They'll make a joke, say something smart, insulting to you, and they watch you let that slide. And then once you let that slide, they move on to the next thing. And after a while, you'll find they're not your friend anymore, and they begin to pick on you. Sometimes they're not your friend at all. They just watch you, and if you seem quiet, okay, you're going to be the next target. All right, so I'm going to continue in the next one, bullying part 2, guys, because I want to make these videos as short as possible. I will attach it in the description below, so look out for it.